Am I the asshole for disinviting my niece to go trick-or-treating with us after a comment she made to my daughter? I, 41 female, told my niece, 10, several weeks ago she could go trick-or-treating with us. Last week, she came over after school to play with my daughter, 10. After about an hour of playing, my daughter comes out of her room in tears. I asked her what was wrong, and she said, "Niece told me you unalived my little brother. I had a miscarriage several years ago. It was an extremely traumatizing experience as I almost died in the process." Daughter knows the truth, but it still hurt her to hear niece say that. I asked niece to come have a discussion with me as to why she would say such a thing. Her response was, "Well, it's true. Baby B died in you, so you unalived him." I asked her where she heard that and her direct response was, "My mom told me that's what happened." She promptly left the room. I called her mom to come pick her up early, as my daughter was not in the mood to be around niece anymore. When mom arrived, I let her know the situation. Mom said, "Well, it's not a lie. Baby B did died inside you. That in turn means you unalived him." At that point I had enough and made them both leave my house, but not before telling niece she was no longer coming trick-or-treating with us. Her mom started to yell as she walked to her car, that I'm a horrible person for not letting niece go with us anymore. Her mom is now calling my mom to try and convince me to change me mind. That's not happening. So, am I the asshole? Edit. My niece's mom isn't my sister. She is a family friend. Our girls have been together since they were infants. Greater than she is a family friend. She is not much of a friend. Stay away from such people. Not the asshole. A friend would make this right, even if it was difficult. A friend would not discuss your miscarriage with their 10-year-old daughter. And not in such a way. Unalive inside you. What in the heck? Is that what we're saying now? There's 2 million other ways to say it. Not the asshole. I'd bet they didn't say, unalive. But am I the asshole wouldn't accept the real phrasing. Not the asshole. How hurtful and stupid. What's wrong with your sister that she would even think something like that, let alone say it to her daughter and to you? I'm surprised your mother isn't backing you up. The mom isn't my sister. She's a family friend. Our girls have been together since they were born. Her mom likes to put blame on people where blame should never be. Maybe a family friend, but certainly not your friend. Not the asshole. I suffered a late-term miscarriage about 6 weeks ago, and I would never talk to anyone again if they said that to me. I don't care how long I knew them, I'd be done. There is enough stigma, guilt, shame and embarrassment around miscarriage as is. You don't need this in your life. Nothing was your fault. Nothing. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Hope you're taking care of yourself and getting the support you need. Not the asshole at all, and I'm so sorry this happened to you. The miscarriage was not your fault and the other mother's callous treatment of your trauma is terrible. When people show you who they are, believe them. You should go NC with this woman in my opinion. You don't deserve that toxic, cruel energy in your life. If any of original poster's family knows this witch, she should tell them what she did so they can cut her off too. Not the asshole. How can your niece's mom not understand that a miscarriage is not you unaliving your child? It's like she's putting blame on you. I feel bad for the niece though because she will likely keep repeating the incredibly stupid things her mom says, without realizing how stupid they are, and will have consequences from it. And then she grows up and has a miscarriage of her own and it destroys her because her mom taught her from a very young age that it's her fault, not only her fault but a practically intentional act of K times LL times ing. I'm assuming this word is banned, which is why we're using unaliving. Your own child somehow. This woman is despicable. Not the asshole, original poster, and I feel bad for the kid having a mom like that and suffering the consequences of it, but you have to protect your own kid from the vitriol she's regurgitating. Since when we can't say kill? I think it's just what the child said. On AITA, violence is banned in main posts. The Automod would flag killed as violence. Not the asshole. By their wording they're blaming you for a traumatic and tragic episode of your life, as well as upsetting your daughter. With friends, like the mother, you don't need any enemies. Y'all in these comments are not giving 10-year-olds enough credit. I work with kids in this age group. At 10 they absolutely can understand empathy at the very least. Even if she's not the most mature kid, seeing her best friend cry should have been more than enough for her to say, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings." If she was 6 I would be more willing to budge, but 10 is too old to be saying shit like that. Not the asshole. Original poster doesn't need that kind of cruelty around her or her family. I am terrible at knowing developmentally appropriate milestones for kids, but even I know a 10-year-old can comprehend the difference between someone died and original poster killed someone. The other kid's mum sounds awful. Not enough information, Mom said. Well, it's not a lie. Baby B did died inside you. That in turn means you unalived him. Hashtag unalived? Is this a translation from another language? No, I wasn't sure if it would post with the word killed in it. Holy shit, I'm so sorry original poster. Unalived was bad enough, but your friend is using the word killed. Wow, just wow. Again I'm so sorry. I would drop that friend ASAP. Not the asshole. I could maybe do some mental gymnastics to see the mother's logic if it had been an abortion, but for a miscarriage that's beyond stupid. Plus if she's willing to say that to your face, who knows what else she's saying to her child when they're at home? No point having them along on what's supposed to be a fun night for you and your daughter. Go LC and don't waste any more time on her. Not the asshole. I think the only asshole is your niece's mum in this situation. I work with kids and they stuff like that all the time. At first I thought she might have just got confused about something she had heard, but hearing that her mum was actually saying that to her is really alarming. Edit. When I posted this I thought the niece had actually said unalive. That's why I thought it's quite a normal thing for a kid to say, because kids can get mixed up with words and meanings. Original poster said she actually said killed in her comments. I do not think that's normal for a kid to say. Not the asshole. Your sister is a foul individual. If she's comfortable saying that, and she clearly was, then I imagine your niece is hearing and being told worse. Unfortunately, your niece will continue to grow under her mother's influence, so you will need to decide how much of that influence you're comfortable exposing your daughter to. The casualness of your sister's cruelty is alarming. I do feel a little bit for the niece, as she was honestly just repeating what she was coached. Not the asshole. Even if she was related by blood, you get to choose who you and yours hang with. Tell your mom to stay out of it. Now would be a good time to expand your daughter's social circle. The kid trained to traumatize your daughter is probably a poor choice of playmates. The mother needs a time out if she thinks this is acceptable. No, not the asshole. A miscarriage or stillbirth is extremely painful, and to talk about how you unalived him implies that you killed him. If you were far enough along to know the sex of the baby, I can't imagine how painful it was for you. I am so sorry for your loss, and you are smart to limit contact with the niece. Not the asshole. But what the fuck is wrong with the kid's mother for even talking to her about that in the first place, and describing it that way? Right? Not to mention, if the baby had already ceased living, it would be scientifically impossible to end its life? What a disgusting thing to say to someone's tragic experience. Original poster. My heart hurts for your loss. I hope you and your family are able to find peace in your grief. Is your daughter okay? Are you feeling okay after that conversation? Honestly, I'm upset just reading this post. You are NTA, and I hope you cut contact with these people. Daughter is doing better. She knows the truth, which is why it affected her so much. We didn't hide it from her. I was very amped up after they left. I'm doing better than I was when it happened. They were very lucky my hubby wasn't home when this happened. Not the asshole. It sounds like you actually found out that she isn't your friend. Sure, she's a family friend, but she clearly doesn't like you, given that she framed you having a miscarriage as you killing an infant and talks about it directly with her child to frame you as a villain and encourages this viciousness. It sounds like you are now in the position where you need to decide whether or not you are willing to expose your child to someone who acts like this and is teaching their child to act like this. I personally would propose cutting contact, but maybe you need more time to sit on it. 'Cause it's wrong what she said about you. That mom is gonna be the reason that little girl will never have friends. Not the asshole, but also it's not the kid's fault. She's 10. She's just parenting her mom. She doesn't realize how hurtful what she's saying is. Best for your daughter not to spend more time with her, though, if there's risk of her hearing more of that upsetting stuff. I'm sorry to hear what your family have gone through, and can't believe your friend was such a b. I mean, 10 is definitely old enough to realize how hurtful it is to say those words. The problem is that her mother is indoctrinating her into these ideas and teaching her to be vicious about it, thus encouraging her child to not only attack the poster about it, but the poster's child. The 10-year-old knows what she's doing, but she's being parented by her mother to be vicious toward other women. Not necessarily. Kids generally don't understand how pregnancies and miscarriages work. They just repeat what they heard from their parents. My parents divorced when I was 5, and both loved trying to turn me against the other. My dad told me as a kid that my mom didn't want anything to do with me when I was born and didn't want me. I took this at face value because I didn't know what PPD was. I was just parroting what an adult told me, though if I'd ever repeated that to my mom I'm sure it would have been very hurtful. It's not the daughter's fault.